And the project is called The Oath. It's a package that is a CD, a sticker, and a wisdom core face mask. And basically, like I set it up to where the only way that people can get it is to get it directly from me. So it's not online, it's not on Spotify, it's not on YouTube, it's not on anything. And the reason why I did it like that is because I see like a lot of people are focusing on the all streaming platforms, which is great. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes with streaming, you gotta do like hundreds of thousands or whatever, just to make a couple dollars.
So
yeah,
fact.
you know what I'm saying?
Fact.
So I was like, all right, so what can I do to be different than what everybody else is doing instead of like posting the same thing that every single other artist is doing? I decided to put together the package and like, yo, if you're a supporter of mine, the only way you can get that is you got to come directly from me. Hit up my my Cash App, my PayPal, my Venmo, whatever, and then I'm actually either mailing out all the projects or I'm literally pulling up to people's houses.
Saw that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm handing the projects home myself, taking pictures, and kicking it with them for a quick little minute, and it's been successful for me. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a fan base and you can do something like that, then it's like it's a dope thing to do, especially like during the times right now where there's not a lot of interaction. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You took it back to the Master P era.
I took it back to the Master P era, like straight out the trunk with it, and it's working out great. Like I sold out the first batch that I had, and I just ordered another batch. And I'm probably gonna have to order again.
And it's helping your fan base as well.
Yeah,
it's
piece
other
by
people
piece.
That are being able to meet.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
I'll leave, and then people will call me back and say I need more masks, or somebody else wants a project, or whatever. But it's a good vibe, and it makes me feel like I'm back in like the early 2000s when people were out there like hustling their mixtapes and
the good
stuff
days,
like that.
The days that these young kids don't know about.
I feel like the internet made people lazy in some ways. I'm not like one of them guys that's against the internet at all, but I feel like it made people lazy in some ways, and I kind of wanted to kind of go out there and like just be different.
Or more so that they're taking the easier route, because I know like from when I listened, because I wasn't really into a big. I was a back in the day hip hop, listening. So I realized that I see that a lot of kids these days, they stream, we can stream, we can do this, you can do this.
Yeah.
Versus where back in the day it was, I got the CD in my trunk, let me pull this out real quick. You know what I mean? If we going around, we going to the car wash, pull it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we pulling up at the car wash, pull the CDs out the car wash, you pulling up at the good food spots, Crazy John's, wherever, man. So you're not connecting with your fans and all that. So, yeah, that's dope.
And another thing they're doing is like they're over half people they don't even communicate with, and they'll keep tagging promoters, they'll tag like book agents, just random people that they just happen to be cool with. Because if you don't have a relationship with you, that kind of pushes them away from even wanting to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like I don't really do that.
Right there. Told y'all get y'all notepad.
So in a sense, like me, right? There's 1,000 million artists. So I have it to where like you can't just tag me. You don't automatically go on my page. I got a block.
Okay.
But if I didn't, I'll probably have 1,000 different rappers on my page every day because I get tagged so much. So I started untagging myself doing whatever. But to me, it's like if we don't have a relationship and we're not communicating, but you're tagging me in your stuff, it's like you're just trying to get on my platform.
So for somebody to get onto your platform, or you know what I mean, to look, since you're not looking for them, let me just take. What do they need to do?
Well, they can contact us, and we have things that we're set up to where we can do marketing and promotional campaigns for other artists, as well as when I was doing before Lyve changed, I was doing my bookings. Okay. So like if they come to us and they have an idea or a plan of like, hey, I'm trying to put a project out. I'm looking for promotion for my video. I'm looking to do more shows. Right. Like there's things that we can do and we can work that out.
So you just do the contact information. So reach out to me personally, not just tagging me and saying boom and think I'm just because either way, if you don't listen, then you don't really know how that works. And they can just send you one real good song. They can send you one real good song and that's it. That's all they got is that one good song.
I mean, really with me, if you hit me up and just build a rapport, like if you want to work with me, hit me up and you're like, hey, I know you got this going on, or I respect the way that you're moving. If you have time, can you check this out? Let me know what you think. Just like that. And I usually check out everybody's stuff, but the ones that will do it it'll send me like 4 or 5 links, and then I don't respond right away. Then it hit me back with question marks. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, that was like,
like, did you not look at it?
nah, like that's like the worst kind of vibe to try to get with me, whatever. And people get really, artists are very emotional and understandable. Everybody's attached to their product, which is cool. But like, you gotta learn how to be more patient and find different ways of learning how to communicate with professionals.
Because no matter what you want to build, that rapport.
Exactly.
No matter, because you want to know, because you can meet somebody and think, oh yeah, I'm getting it good, and it's not, there's no loyalty, or you ain't trusting, or you didn't get all your information from either person, whether it be you or the artist, and then it's just like, okay, this doesn't work out.
Exactly.
So versus where if you start to build rapport, then you can start to see right in the name. Okay, maybe I can give you a try. We'll give it a test. We'll give it a test try and see how that works. Okay. So for y'all artists that's out there listening, y'all already know. Don't tag them. That should be just gonna get straight to. Don't tag them. Reach out and build a rapport. You know, see what's going on with them. Do just like you're going on a job and you gotta do your research and see what's going on. So then that way, when you all come and talk, you know what you're talking about, you know what's going on with this company, and you know what's going on with his work, and then you can turn around and go swap whatever ideas.
Billy.
There's also a lot of other ways to get to me too. Like I have a whole lot of assistants, a lot of different members, DJs, artists. So it's like there's so many different ways than just tagging me on social media to get my attention.
So it's meant, but again, so if you do your research, you'll find that out. Exactly. So if you do the research, you'll know I can reach out and contact this assistant, or I can contact this artist and maybe build a rapport with this artist.
Our emails and all the stuff is all in
right there.
On Instagram. We kind of set it up to where you can reach out to us. But
and be professional in emails.
Yes, please. A couple years ago, when I kind of switched levels a little bit and started being a little bit more professional with the way I carry myself and the people I put myself around and everything. So a couple years ago, it was a little different. You can kind of like, I was more on the homeboy type thing.
Like, hey, what's happening?
Yeah. But as I continue to grow and put myself around more professionals, and I started putting myself around the people that I am aspiring to be like, instead of just people either I feel like I can't really learn anything from.
Right.
So once that changed, I kind of changed the way that I kind of interact with people. I still do everything for anybody, you know what I'm saying? But just the way that.
But you move different.
I move differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good. That's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Your thing is to look for you to elevate.
Yes.
It's not to just be. Let's just be stagnant in this one thing. Let's elevate. So not only will you try to elevate yourself, but anyone that's coming around and also being able to elevate, because then they learn from you. Because it's probably still someone that coming in like, "Oh, what's up?" In the email, and you like, "No, listen, we gotta come out of that."
I got people that send me their lyrics in my message thing, just like random. Never even put out new music, nothing, just send the lyrics and stuff. But I'll actually read it. I'll read it and I'll, hey, this is dope. Hey, boom, 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 boom.
But with that, they don't worry about somebody taking it. Like that's crazy, because I would be worried about, like, are you gonna take my, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna send you all my lyrics in my song, or you want to take it and make another beat out of it?
Yeah.
Would you use my words?
I don't know.
I don't think I would be able to do. That's crazy. But I mean, people do whatever
they do.
Yeah.
Billy, Lyve in the building. We got a lot to discuss, man. I was just letting y'all warm up. You know what I'm saying? Loosen up, let your hair down.
Yes, I just gotta let my joints down.
Yeah, man. Yo, let's take it from the beginning, though. You know what I'm saying? What made you call yourself Billy Lyve? You know what I mean? To represent your artistry. You know what I mean?
Well, originally my name was because I followed I grew up in the 90s, so the whole Wu-Tang thing was like a big deal to me, you know what I'm saying? So they had like special names and different things like that. So my original name was Crown Lyve, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
On some like King type stuff, whatever. And then my nickname was always Billy Lyve. So what I did was I put a mixtape out, and then my cousin Amber was starting to call me Billy Lyve instead of Crown Lyve, and I just kind of rolled with it. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't even a lot to it, just Lyve. you know, I tried to be like, live was just a word in the 90s. Like, yo, he's
Like,
live.
that's
Like
live.
lit,
Yeah,
like
that's
lit, like
exactly
Billy
it.
Lit for real. That's
So I
his
was like, all right,
nickname.
cool. I used to be a little wilder, you know, in my younger days, and so the live kind of worked. So that's pretty much how I got it, and I kept it because you know it's my real name, so you know can't nobody really take it.
Right.
So that's where that came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
What got you
Yeah.
started?
Honestly, I kind of grew up with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like from the early '80s, my brothers were breakdancing out front of the house. Big boom boxes, Adidas sweatshirts, and all that kind of
Run
stuff.
DMC.
Yeah, the Run DMC, like we had records, and I grew up with records, and then I went to tapes, and then I went to CDs. So like I really grew up in the essence of all that. My cousins would be playing Beastie Boys and skateboarding and everything you can think hip hop wise. As a kid, I grew up smack in the middle of watching it all.
So did you guys do like us girls used to do back when you with the tapes?
Mm-hmm.
Wind it back, try to listen to the words and
Yes.
know what the words were.
I used to literally sit there and write down.
I did too.
I wrote down all the words.
Yep.
And I kept repeating it until I got it down.
Mm.
And my first rap songs were other people's songs.
Yeah.
That I would use and throw my name into it.
And then when the tape get messed up, you sort of rewind it back. You're like, wait, I gotta fix it. I always wonder, like Jim's like, I wonder if you guys do the same thing because you just rewind the tape and write the words down. Like I have a whole. I just found a song book that has all the words of the songs that I used to write down.
Oh really?
So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's cool to know, guys. You did it.
Yeah,
You did it.
I did. My first introduction to hip hop was Biz Markie, Just a Friend. You know, second grade. I remember like yesterday.
Really?
What was your first?
So what girl you sing to?
No, well, you know, in elementary school they switched it up. Like, oh baby, you got a disease.
Oh yeah.
But you say it's just a rash, but it's crawling up your ass. Oh, second grade we flipped it like that, and I'm like, oh, this is ill. And then I heard the real song. That was my introduction to hip hop. What about
my introduction to hip hop was LL Cool J. I'm Bad.
That's an ill one right there. That explains a lot about you too.
Like all that and Run DMC. But then I started listening to like Just Ice, NWA, like all the gangster stuff. That's what really like started hitting me.
Mm-hmm.
And
that era, that late '80s, early that NWA. Don't put your age out there, Roxanne Shante.
That was my first one. Was when she wrote the what was it? She was when she rapped against the what was the other group? Like she wrote the
real Roxanne.
Yeah, she did the real Roxanne. That was like my first. I was like, oh, okay. And that's where it just went
on a beef. So like hip hop beef back then.
Yeah, that's when it started for me. Because then I didn't know, like I listened to the song and it was just like, oh, she wrote this because of writing it off for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like it was like you said, it was a rap beef. So I was like, okay. Oh yeah, that's my.
What was your first live performance that you saw?
That I saw?
Faced with your own eyes.
The Clips.
The Clips.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was you know, I just never thought about ever going to like a show, period. But my first, let me think back. The Clips was the first one I saw that I felt like, hey, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? I had saw like I went and saw like Lil Wayne and I saw 50 Cent and all that like at the arena, but he got me free tickets to the joint, whatever. So that was the show that I would say touched me the most because I'm like, dang, yo, these dudes are literally like, if I get close enough, I can touch one of them. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it made me feel like it was more realistic.
More close because it's like you're more in sync with them from the bed until a club. Yeah, I have noticed the difference of that. Being able to just be more. What was your first show?
First show was at Merriwell Post Pavilion. It was like Summer Jam or something. Busta was on there.
Oh,
that's the epitome of, oh man. Busta was on there, Naughty by Nature. Who else was on that show?
My first show was DMX. It was like DMX and the Rough Riders.
The Rough Riders Cash Money.
I've actually never seen DMX. He's one of the only people I've
It
ever
was
seen.
so
I like
like
to see them
they
out there.
smoked so much in the arena. It was
And the feedback out there. Watch us on YouTube or go to Greg Bugsy Facebook page. In the meantime, you might have some feedback on the app, trying to diagnose it as we speak. But so you saw the clips.
Mhm.
What was your first performance? You know what I mean?
My first real performance or my first performance? My
Yeah,
first performance was
both,
at a
both.
family reunion with my cousin Dave,
Okay.
and we was in front of like the whole family rapping we rapping crisscross.
Okay.
And things like that. That was my first like performance in front of people. And then my first performance when I like was like, hey, I want to be a rapper. I was in high school, and we did a fashion show at Bowtech in Westminster, and there was a couple of us, and we were rapping, and it was a terrible performance.
I was about to say,
Yeah, it was like, yo, that was tight. But like, so I remember my cousin had tripped over the speaker and knocked the speaker down. But we ain't had a big like studio like DJ speakers. We had like the home speakers.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And knocked that down and kept rapping. We was all dressed up in like camouflage suits and stuff like that.
Well, they say no matter what happens, you keep moving. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
y'all live with y'all.
That was my first like actual performance. My first real one that I would say was the beginning was in Westminster at the Ag Center. We planned it. We planned the whole situation. We brought the speakers. We did the flyers. We did everything like that. Had the microphones. Another terrible show, but that was my first time. I was like, yeah, all right, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah. That was like 90. That was before I got into the Baltimore scene, so it had to be like early 90s. Not early 90s, late 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's where it set the stone and like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. So within that, that's what took you to.
I might be lying. I think my first show was at McDaniel's College.
Shout out to McDaniel's.
In Westminster. And that wasn't terrible, but we didn't know what we was doing. And then after that is when I decided, hey, I wanted to do this, and I started trying to put together my own shows, whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was your first show that you organized?
That I organized?
Yeah.
My first official show that I organized was at I say official because like I did a couple of those small joints, but Club Sonar. My friend Matt Pittman was the engineer there, and I had begged him to give me a shot at doing a show, so he gave me a show. I had booked a couple of people from Sykesville, Carroll County, and then some other guys from Ricerstown, because I'm from both towns, whatever. So I always kept it consistent with who I came up with. So it was like 8 acts on there, and we had like 400 some people come, and like packed the small room so on. We like packed that joint.
Was you shocked?
Yeah, I was definitely shocked, and we made
small room was it for hip hop.
But we made so much money that like I think I got like $800 myself, and I still was able to split it with other people. So it was so much money that was made, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. So I started doing that a lot, like every other month, whatever. I would have a show there, and then I started kind of building my name up in Baltimore. And back then there was only like 1 or 2 people that were doing hip hop in Sonar, and I was one of them, but I was like an up and coming person. Then it came to a point to where like, we were some of the only people that were doing Sonar shows. And, besides people would come and do something every now and then or whatever, but we kind of had Sonar locked down for a minute. Then I branched over to the bigger side. My first show was opening up for Rakim. And that came from me packing the small room. They like, hey, you want to open up for Rakim? Like, yeah, I was scared.
No, I don't want to open up for the God. No, I'll be fine.
So I did that. I got a chance to shake his hand and meet him on stage.
I met Big Daddy Kane. I ain't never meet the God right now. I met Big Daddy Kane.
I had like 12 of my guys on stage with me. It was I don't know, it was crazy back then. So the stage was packed with all of us. We're out there shaking Rakim's hand, just chilling or whatever. And then I did a good job there. And then after that, they gave me the offer to open up for Ill Bill and Slain. And then from that, I went to Talib Kweli. And then I just kind of kept going from there. I've opened up with so many people before I felt like I was a great performing artist. This is before I thought I was good. Now I think I'm excellent at performing. So I went from,
I can vouch for that.
You know what I'm saying? I went from Rakim to doing the Fillmore.
So they saw in you, but you didn't see just yet.
Okay. So I've done some really big stuff. Sold out shows, Rolling Thugs, Raekwon and Ghostface, MGK, Hobson, I
Was that
don't,
one of the ones?
I don't want to forget anybody, but I did a lot of big stuff, man. A lot of big stuff.
Yeah. No, we went to the Ghostface show.
Mm-hmm.
We went when you opened up for Ghostface.
Ghostface?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Him and Jay Money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did
Shout out to
Ghostface, and I do all the pretty much all the Wu-Tang shows. And the shows that I wasn't opening, later on before the club started closing, I had a situation with Baltimore Soundstage where I was booking the opening acts for certain shows. So opening act or a star would come and they would say, "Hey Billy, hey, do you have anybody for this show, that show?" So I kind of got in a position to where like not only was I able to open up myself, but now I can kind of give back to the hip hop community. So whoever, and that was the reason why it's good to have a good rapport with me, and not how he was acting. So the artists who I felt were ready to sell tickets and push, I gave them the chance to open up for a lot of dope people. And I probably set up maybe like 8 or 9 different open act slots. So Soundstage gave me that blessing to where like now that's something that I'll be doing with them, which put me in a position to where like I'm not officially on their employee list, but like I'm probably the closest thing to that. So like everything that they do, I'm involved with, and
promotional
parts. I'm backstage, I'm chilling, I'm working, I'm doing all, I'm running people, I'm doing all that. So but all that came from me starting out as a promoter for other clubs. I was handing out flyers. I was doing all the hard work that people don't know about now. I did that. I was out there sweating in the rain, 4 or 5 different events a week, AFRAM, Artscape, the stuff they did at Pimlico.
The things that's popping.
Yeah, flyers, stacks of flyers, putting up posters, staying out there all day, all night, hungry, and then grinding
and putting in that footwork.
From that,
hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, for a guerrilla marketing.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So the cool thing from me doing all that, all the people I used to do that for went and grew into different bigger positions. So Adam Savage, who I worked for at Sonar, when Sonar's closed, he ended up going to Baltimore Soundstage. Me and him already had a relationship, so that was my link to Soundstage. That's why I had so many connections.
That's the word for the day. Rapport.
Yep. Also Metro Gallery. And then through working there, I met people that was working at Ramshead. So I was able to do opening act shows with Ramshead, sold out shows with One Coast Entertainment, different people like that. From that, I met people that was working with Live Nation when they took over Fillmore Soundstage. So I was able to do the Fillmore and work with Live Nation.
And them cats down in
So,
DC, that venue down in DC, where we went, the show you talking about, we went to Dead Prez was on there. I think Most Def and Top Black Star show. But the show after that, I think you opened up. What's the name of that venue? That real huge venue in DC. You just did something.
The Fillmore.
No, not the film. It's in DC though. It's like it's downtown. It's not.
We went in. We went to the sound.
No, not the Ghostface. Don't worry about it. But the bottom line is, you're making moves out in DC, and that was a summation of what I'm saying. That's what my line of questions for. Because not only is Billy Lyve a dope dart spitter, you know what I'm saying? Throws his darts as an MC, has his own product, but he's opened up hundreds, if not more, thousands of opportunities. I remember 2011, B City. You know what I mean? City the King now, B City, Wisdom Court show. When we was bringing 3D out. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That was the steps you had to take. It's like above the 5, you know what I'm saying? Like once you go run through the 5 seasons and do your open mic run, the next step is you gotta come see Wisdom Court. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact, you know what I mean? So that's the reason why my line of question for the people that may not know that also stream this brother music, watch his videos, but again, virtuals, you'll show people everything you've done. It's like you don't be on no duck shit like, oh no, and you know what I mean? Each one teach one. You know what I mean? That's what I appreciate. Yo, this is how I got this. This is who you need to talk to about that. You know what I'm saying? That's ill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I come from the era of where I had a lot of older dudes really hold me down, and I listened to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll shout out. I just seen something like recently, like my brother Corleone, who actually put me into the studio. He runs Corleone Records.
Clarify so they don't confuse it with Tyree Corleone though. Shout out to the No Shoes.
Yeah, shout out to Tyree, but nah, I'm talking about Main Man Corleone. So he put me into my first studio, and that's how I ended up meeting Matt Bittman, and that's how I got into sonar. So it's all about relationships. I also, I'm a big homie, Big Sean, a dude named Born Divine.
Shout out to Born Da Vinci. You
It was,
feel
you know what
me?
I'm saying?
Born
It was
Divine.
a lot of people. Justice Star, who actually passed, him and his brother actually passed, not too far apart from each other. But
That's my big homie, yo.
a lot
Born
of-
Divine.
a word.
Yeah, she came through the block, me, Boney, Slim.
Got you. A lot of them dudes, like, that's what I kind of came up under. So I learned and I paid attention to a lot of them dudes, and they always put me on and taught me things. So I kind
Shout out to
of
Mike Fernandez. He said, Billy Lyve, what up?
Yo, what up? What up?
Robin
What up?
said, yay, Live. Shout out to the Facebook gang. Shout out to the app gang, YouTube gang. You see what I'm saying? So the old heads, the older guys put me on how to rock this, maintain 360, Lord, live, prosper. Wisdom Court Entertainment. So what made you want to call that as far as your movement, your clip, you know what I mean?
Well, the name Wisdom Court was me and my homeboy. It was that was our rap name.
Oh, Wisdom Court. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then you know, we kind of went separate ways. And I hit him one day and I'm like, yo, I think I want to use that name for my company. And he was just like, I don't think he was really feeling it, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause we weren't really talking like that. But I ran with it, and we've been running with it ever since. That was like 2004 when I first brought out with the Wisdom Court name.
Court.
Yeah, so we've been doing it for a minute. Like I'm
Where
talking
did y'all
about.
get the Wisdom
I was about
Court
to-
from,
like,
though?
what-
Like, where y'all get that
So
from?
just like back in the day, like I would just sit there, look at the thesaurus or whatever, and think of cool names to put together. So wisdom with wise words spoken from wise men and women. Court being a royal court. You know what I'm saying? Like kings and queens and things like that. But it also can be as a location, like Wisdom Court, like
Yeah, I'm at the
you know what I'm
Wisdom
saying?
Court.
I'm at the
Yeah.
Wisdom Court or whatever. So we put that together and just ran with it.
Still.
It was actually really simple, and it's just something we've been rocking so long.
Very catchy, yo. Very
Yeah.
Wisdom Court,
Oh yeah, no doubt.
wisdom, you know what I mean?
But so what's up, Bridget?
Bless you.
Bless you. But it originated. I'll give you the breakdown of how it started.
Okay.
So I had a crew called LOS. That was a street crew. That was pretty much all Carroll County based. You know, Westminster, Sykesville dudes, whatever. Some of the little wildest dudes that I've been around. You know what I'm saying? We just kind of got together. We were smaller. You know, there was a lot of older guys that were bigger than us that was trying to like beef with us and stuff like that. But we kind of like just banded together. It was like 30-some small skinny dudes all together. And it was very, very hard to overpower us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't always win, but you know, we was there. We was tough.
Held our own.
Yeah, we held our own. And besides the ones that died and the ones that are in jail, all of the dudes are still with me to this day. One of the leaders, Jay Campbell, who's actually my son's uncle. That's my right hand. He's always with me.
Shout out to
You know what
Jay.
I'm saying? And so
And shout out to Jay Money Hackett.
yeah. He comes in later on.
Yeah.
So,
I want to definitely get to that.
So the LOS thing started. You know, we was running around. I don't want to say it was a gang, but I don't know what we was trying to do. It was a street. It was a crew. You know what I'm saying? We did everything that you can think of.
But y'all was fighting other people. Y'all formed because of the oppression. And the older, and that's how that's how the gangs formed, though.
I would say that. I mean, I don't want to act like it was like no super gangster stuff, but we formed because at one point, the town where I lived in, I had like everybody was against me. Like every time I turn around, somebody trying to run up on me. Big football player dudes back me in corners.
Hey, you was hitting their chicks, huh?
Something like that. I don't want to get too into that because it's love, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, we had issues. There was different
Right.
things, whatever. I was from racist towns. I wasn't from there originally, so I had to kind of go through the growing pains. And I never really clicked with certain people. I wasn't doing things that they were doing. Now you good. They tried to bully me a little bit, and I didn't know who I could trust. So all the people that I used to grow with in that town ended up hanging out with those guys too. And everybody knew where I lived, so it got to a point where I was like, damn, man, I don't even know. So I went to Westminster, and I started rocking with the Westminster cats, and I ended up, you would think I was really from Westminster, because, like, I'm cool with everybody out there. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you the mayor of Westminster.
Westminster.
You the mayor of Westminster. Let's
They-
not front right now. Let's not front. Let's not be humble.
I'm from there. I've been living there for a while now. You know what I'm saying? My son's from there and all that, but I think I was in Westminster, so that's where I call my home. Whatever. Of course, another place is my home too, but that's when I say my hometown, that's what I'm talking about. So
Did you ever get any pushback from like inner city artists, like, oh, you from the county?
Yeah, man.
Expound on that a little bit.
When I first started coming to the scene, it was a lot of talk like, man, these county boys ain't nothing. I got a lot of that. So I had to like learn how to be extra tough. You know what I'm saying? Not in the sense of like, hey, I want to fight everybody. Extra tough in the sense of like, I know who I am and I'm gonna stand on it. You know what I'm saying? And when I would come to the city, I would come down there with like 50 to 60 dudes that weren't from Baltimore. This county, county cats, Baltimore County, South Paul Entertainment, man, John, Durden Bank, NYMD, Black Staff. It was a whole bunch of us.
Shout out to
You
the
know
Black
what
Staff
And
24/7.
we all rolled together. So even the look and the presence and the vibe wasn't what they thought you would get from somebody being from the county. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, the city just embraced me and respected me. And I had not.
You earned that shit, B.
I ain't had one.
You earned that shit, brick by brick. I'm gonna keep 100. You earned
you.
that shit, brick
I haven't
by
had one
brick.
issue. I've never had.
Man, these county cats, they will push you. Man, they listen. You keep the sleep if you want. You know what I'm saying? You just heard, man, see how they formulated over the years, brick by brick, 500 strong in the streets, Wisdom Core Entertainment. You never know. That could be Lil Johnny you see out in Montgomery County. That might be. I done seen some white boys that'll knock it up. West Virginia, they like to go hand in hand combat. Big corn-fed white boys. So don't sleep on anybody.
They with us too. I got a whole crew out there too. But like, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Like, you know,
don't sleep.
It started out with people. I felt I was getting ganged up on by a whole town. You know what I'm saying? The guys I was with, you know, some of them were younger than me, some of them whatever. They weren't really about whatever. So we just had to like. It's maybe 4 or 5 of us that was getting in fights all the time. We would get jumped, like everything you think of.
Was Ambush with you?
Ambush was with me. He was checked in right now. He was like, yo, I did this. I'm tough. I say a lot of stuff, right? I name names, and all the stuff I'm talking about, they're out in the community.
Thanks.
Like my baby's mother is in the community. My exes, my homeboys, everybody, people I beef with, they're in the community. If I'm lying, somebody would have exposed me a long time ago. I've been doing this for 10 years. Like, everything I say is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been about it and running around for a long time. And like I said,
what's some of the negative or like one of the worst stories by you being a promoter or even just at a venue where something went left and you know what I mean, something had to get real. You know what I mean?
I barely have ever been disrespected at a venue as far as one of my events. There's been like 2 fights that I can remember. Once was at Sonar. And that was small, and the security took care of that. And then one time at stage, there was an incident where somebody got into it with security, and it wasn't somebody in my crew, but it was somebody that was attached to my crew, and we ended up being banned from that for a year.
Damn, that's the whole movement.
But it wasn't even nothing that I did. You know what I'm saying?
They just put it on.
Well, yeah, because I had news. I think I knew who did it, but I didn't feel comfortable with saying, hey, it was such and such and such.
Right.
So, but we got through it. You know,
so they banned you because you weren't on no Tekashi, like, oh yeah, he did it.
Yeah. Right. But I was about to say, so how you took your lumps. Situation?
I stood
up like a man.
I sent a bunch of emails. And the craziest thing is the people that I had issues with then, I literally talk on the phone with now. Like there's some. I would say that the owners of Soundstage right now are like some of my close friends. Like we talk about everything. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like they're a beautiful group of people. Beautiful group of people. I'm glad that we got over that. But it taught me 2 things. It taught me I have to learn how to detach my street side from my professional side. Because as I move in the street, I got to move a certain kind of way. But as I grow into working with corporations and companies, I can't take those same elements. Now, I'm not saying I would do anything different. I still ain't telling nobody nothing. But maybe I need to be a little bit more selective on who I'm bringing in to that venue. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I learned a lesson, and I took it. I took it for a year. I watched everybody performing, doing shows there, and I'm mad I couldn't do it. And then one day somebody called and was like, "Hey, you want to do the show?" And I'm like, "I don't know. They won't let me. They don't want me in there." So they asked the people at Soundstage, and the Soundstage said, "Yeah, it's cool." And then I did the show. I shook everybody's hand and everything like that. About 3 months later, they were like, "Hey, you want to open up Princess?" So I kind of had to reprove myself, and then they started giving me my own shows. You know what I'm saying? And that's rare.
Ultimately, they probably earned more respect for you. Like, okay, he's a stand-up guy.
That's
we just gotta make a statement. Now. We gotta probably make an example for that little 1 year.
They did what they needed to do to taught me a lesson. So now, like,
was it a full year?
It might have been a little over a year. Cause I was
You felt that, so
I
you
was
see
hurt,
people
you know what I'm saying?
performing like,
Yeah.
yo, they on my strip. You feel
yeah,
me?
I was hurt, but luckily, like I'm one of the few artist promoters that is in a position with them and all the clubs. So it's like now I'm not gonna mess those opportunities up ever. Like if you come in and you want some like sloppy, like I don't even want to say like hood type style, trying to do
Unprofessional to say the least. You know what I
trying
mean?
to do stuff with me at the high level venues, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
So if you're unprofessional with me at smaller venues and I'm looking at you drunk, falling all over the stage, going back and forth with people at the door and all that kind of, I'm not gonna give you a chance to get to a different level. And that's where the professionalism comes in, because you need to go through these channels to all them big shows you want to do. You gotta go through this channel. Just like
you can't skip no steps.
You had to go to 5 seasons. You know what I'm saying? You had to do that. You had to perform in seminar. You had to perform at Soundstage, get the film.
You had to do a Wisdom Court show.
You gotta do, yeah. You gotta go to Fillmore to get to the arena. It's like it's a step-by-step thing. Autobar, all these different places. You can't just go from rapping at your homeboy's house and go straight to the Fillmore. It does not work that way. Because the booking agents that run the Fillmore and run Soundstage, for one, they all communicate. So if there's a name that they don't know who that name is, then you're not gonna get that show. So you gotta kind of continuously be out there building your name and building a good name for yourself. So I'll get a phone call or a text like, "Hey Billy, you know XYZ artist?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know him. He's cool, but," or "Yeah, he's a good person."
Listen,
boom, boom,
right.
boom. I get
But
that.
You can't vouch for everybody. Hey, I don't know, because you put your name on. Oh,
Mhm.
Billy, you told me this person was cool, and they came.
Yep. I won't vouch for anybody.
Right.
So now, like I said, now they'll actually call me and allow me to go out there and pick who I think would be a good fit for certain shows. But I had to earn that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it took that's years of me working and being a good person got me that position.
So speaking of some of the worst, things, and what was your best event? Because you've done a lot of different themed events, and probably hundreds now, if not thousands. So what was your most favorite euphoria moment? Probably except for your first 1 or 2 times. But what was like, far as once you got your feet going as a promoter and as a rapper, and then you was like, oh, yo, this is priceless.
I got 2. I did MGK at Baltimore Soundstage. It was my first sold out show. I was scared to death. It was all these white kids with MGK bands and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an MGK fan. You know what I'm saying? But like,
he killed Eminem, though, in my opinion.
I started doing research on crowds. So just because I'm not a fan of an artist, it doesn't mean I still want their crowd. So he had a crowd that followed him everywhere, like they diehard fans. And that's the kind of crowd that was important to have. So I was like, boom, I started doing shows. I started doing opening act slots to be in front of the kind of crowds that support the people that they like. Like a lot of the trap crowds.
Tech Nine.
Take notes.
Yeah, we get that too, but like say a lot of the trap crowds or whatever, and people that listen to that style of music and follow that style of music, they don't always support the artists. They'll come to a show or whatever, but they're not really buying the merch, they're not following them, they're not doing, they look at you on YouTube and stuff like that, but when you need something, they're not really holding it down. Artists like Tech Nine, MGK, the Hobsons, you got the cult-like followers. J. Cole's, where they'll buy your shirts, they'll buy your stickers, they'll come to all your shows, they'll buy your CDs,
Wiz Khalifa.
They'll share, they'll get tattoos, they'll do all that. So that's the crowd I decided to go with. That's why I never really jumped on like certain trends of music, because my style fits the underground hip hop style to where I don't gotta change anything, and my fan base continuously grows and grows and grows and grows.
It grows up with you too.
Yeah, for instance, I'm running around meeting people every day with my CDs. A lot of people don't even really have CD players in their car sometimes, or they listen.
We talked about this.
They listen to it on their phones. But because I have that fan base, I have that style of fans, I can do anything I want, and they're gonna support it because it's real.
Yeah, you realizing that the cars aren't being made with CD players. I didn't even pay attention to that.
We in the studio right now. I have a CD player in this whole studio. You know what I'm saying? But it's a piece of merch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a piece of art right there. You know what I'm saying? It
means something. If you get something in your hand, it means something. Like I can get 1,000 things on my phone, but to actually put something in your hand.
It would go on my CD. I have a CD. It would go on my CD.
A collection. Yeah,
it would go right in there.
But what I did was, because I'm sharp with it, so I did that. But I'm Also, I'm going to put it on all streaming platforms, and I am going.
But your fan base get it first.
Yeah, and I'm going to have a download link probably another couple of days where I'm going to everybody that bought it, I'm going to send it to them, so they'll be able to download it to their phones. But in order for me to get the most out of my project, I decided to sell it for $20 and get the money to come directly to me instead of having to go through this, that I gotta wait 3 months to get 4 cents and all that. So if I mess around and push this for 3 months and I really go hard at it, and I can sell a couple hundred of them, besides what I gotta pay back and investments and things like that, that's straight cash.
Cool.
Which is really hard for artists to say that they're really getting cash off of their music right now. As far as independent artists, it's hard.
Some of my clients every day.
Mm-hmm. You have to find different ways, unique ways to push your product and monetize it.
Really, you know what I mean? People want the look, they want the clout.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The oath. So let's take back to your first project. What was the name of your first project, though?
My first project
was let's take it back.
It was titled Crown Lyve. It was self-titled. It was a 6-track EP. I didn't even know what EP was back then. It was 2001. And we put it together. We ordered 300 of them. We got 305 of them. We sold them all in Sykesville and out College Park.
$10 a what?
$5.
$5 a what?
Yeah,
You said
so
300. Good number.
We sold them, but it cost us like $1,100 to do it. So this is back.
Yeah, it was expensive back in the day. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So, yeah, we did that, and then I put out another one, and we're like, all right, dude, we're gonna just do this ourselves. So we print out everything ourselves on this one, and sold like 500 of those. And then my official album was called The Unspoken Herd. And that was the one that a lot of people from my area know me for. We sold like 1,100 of that. And after that is when the mixtape era was jumping. So I started like rapping over other people's beats and all that kind of. I did the whole little mixtape.
So you actually started the right way and then reverted to.
I've tried a lot of things, and now I'm back to the essence of creating my own music and like really putting out a full body of work.
How many projects you got all together?
I don't even know.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I would say like maybe like 12, 13, something like that. Maybe more. I don't know.
But then your son started, you know what I mean, chip out the old block.
My son
Tell us about that first.
He's actually an enhanced version of me because he
Cruddy
is making beats. So now he has a studio set up in the basement where he can record people. He can he has the beat machine, the keyboard. He has all the software. I linked him with somebody and gave him all the plugins. So now, he's actually good. His mixing's good. His recording's good. You couldn't tell a difference from that and something else. And he does it all in the basement of the house. So so right now he's trying to get his raps together and really find out what direction he wants to go. I know people are like, yo, why aren't you pushing your son? Why this, why that? But he has to be, in order for him to be pushed the right way, he has to be mentally ready. And he has to know that he's ready for himself. As much as I tell him like, yo, you're good, he gotta know it for himself. And he has to have his mind right on being able to do the right things because would be my successor. You know what I'm saying?
And to the core.
Yeah, but it's a hard shoes.
It's a hard shadow to follow.
To follow. So
you can't just come out and be one of these regular young street.
I'm not pushing him like that, like because he's not ready yet. That's the only reason why we're not pushing him. If he was ready, we reach.
I observed that though.
Going, you know
I observed that though. No nepotism. That's why I looked at it because from the outside looking at, I'm like, man, I thought of that before. Like, yo, Freddie is crazy. Billy got all the knowledge and the wisdom, but it's like you let him earn that. No, but the thing is, he built his own fan base. Mm-hmm. When we did the skate, he came up there, his own crew, his own clique, Rolling Marvin, but he do his own shows. He got his own soul. You know what I mean? As opposed to, okay, that's Jay-Z's son. Oh, all right, let me. People would have been showing him love, but a lot of times people's sons and kids and stuff be trash.
Yep.
So it's like you didn't vouch for him, put on like, oh, he just doing that because it's his son. Whereas though he actually dope.
My son's super. He's like an excellent artist. Like I don't
He's
even
very
know.
dope. Her son crazy. I'm telling you, when they collab, it's really stupid.
We'll definitely link that up.
Crazy. Her son
link him on IG,
And I'm not saying that just because that's her son. Like that's what I'm telling her. Like if he was trash, I wouldn't be.
That's what I'm saying about my son. To me, he's like one of the better artists that I've seen. Period. Like independently, like his style, the singing stuff, the syllables, the way he raps, the content.
Individually,
he's not rapping. He's not rapping about no dumb stuff that all the kids rap about now. He's like talking about like his feelings, soul, things he went through, things he saw, whatever. It's dope, but he's not ready yet. So when he's ready, then we're gonna get behind him. We're gonna push
Green
him.
light, green light. But in between time, think about this. It's like a head-on collision with the train. So when he's ready, matching with everything you already got going.
Oh yeah, be straight.
Because he might already come in with maybe 1,000, 2,000 fan base already. That he
Artists on the squad.
I need to know real quick. Rude Rice.
Yeah.
Ain't get a bank. Yo, my.
So he's my son, so yeah, he gets to do a lot of things with me. But if you see, he'll be on the stage backing me up. He's like, or he might get a verse. I'm not just I get a show, I get opportunities. I'm like, all right, yo, girl, this is your thing. Nah.
That's see-through too. That's see-through.
He's my hype man. My son's my hype man. J Money, he started out as somebody that was promoting and selling CDs for me when he was 13 years old, handing out flyers and stuff like that. So
I didn't even know you knew yo that long. Oh, yo.
So I used to manage a store, and he would come and get like candy and chips and stuff from me, whatever. And I would give him CDs and stuff and hand out in middle school and high school, whatever. And he stuck with me when I started doing like Easter egg hunts and all the community kids stuff. He was always he was one of the kids with me, but he was always helping. Younger than my son now. You know what I'm saying? Running around, handing out flyers, doing all that kind of stuff. So he watched me for everything. So when you see J Money now and he's like becoming successful doing things that he's doing, not only did he earn it, but he got firsthand experience because he was with me. So now he's like growing. He has his own company called Determination Motivation. We're doing his own show, t-shirts and merch. He's doing stuff at school, different things with the protesting kids. And that was all stuff that I'm sure he had it in him, but he's like a branch off of that.
He's raised right.
Yeah, he was
raised right in the game.
I kept him. He wasn't with me. He was too young to be with me when we were involved with the street stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was around us, but he was like still a young boy. He was in the house. So like that, I'm glad because he might have went a whole different way. He might be.
Say he might have saved his life. He might have been one of them Westminster Cowboys. You know what I mean? He's trying to be, something that they don't need trying to be. Shout out to J Money Hackett. You know what I mean? And thank you for sharing that story, yo. Because J Money was the hype man. You know what I'm saying? He went through the same process, and that's how Cruddy. That's what you could show Cruddy. Like, yo, J Money did that, and now he's bloomed and blossomed. I won't. He was a hype man at one point. Now he's just part of my show. The collective, yeah. Just like I'm part of his show. So when he opens for people, I'm on stage with him. I might be holding the camera for him. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way. It's a team member. Like my leadership, I learned that I can be a general and I can be a soldier at different times. And if you don't know how to do that, then it's hard for people to ever want to follow you. So when my dudes, it's time for my dudes to shine, I'm in the back and I'm letting them shine. I'm not like jumping around like, hey, look at me, I did this, I did that. Nah, y'all shine. When my son shines, you shine. J Money shines, you shine. And he's had a chance to open up for major artists too, several times. Some sold out shows, but that's from him just being there and being around. And the same thing with like the rest of the dudes in my crew. Like they supported me and backed me. So when opportunities came, I put them on the stages.
And you're giving it all to them in order for them to love it the way that you love it versus them feeling like, okay, well, you do. You're giving them that opportunity to follow along and grow into their self.
Yes.
Bridget said, good morning, cuz.
What up?
Ambush in the building, live on air, Wisdom Core NT, hashtag this thing about Ambush. What's up, Red Buzzy? Blizzard, salute, bro. Salute to Blizzard. They just dropped the legends in their own right.
Yeah, I gotta grab that.
Yeah, that joint is.
Blizzard's another one. Blizzard's Big Steve been with me from like early on, like 2010. They with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I damn near can say, I don't even know. I'm cool with everybody.
Everybody, listen, you have to come through the Wisdom Court.
Yeah.
From the big names to the little names, whoever you could think of, you should put all the flyers like on a little 5-minute documentary thing. Like, oh, yo, I remember that. Like the Wisdom Core Easter egg. Like, salute to y'all for that, doing that for the kids. That's a question I wanted to ask real quick. I know, we ain't got much time left. But how is Wisdom Core going through this corona, yo? Not being able to do no events. Y'all like Master P of events every week. Okay, you've heard about the Sonar, you heard about the Baltimore Soundstage, but what about the events y'all did, like in an electronic store, video game store, or something you did?
8x10, the Outer Bar.
Like, still, yeah. So
didn't you just do
23 Lounge? I did something my homeboys just did a grand opening at their store at 23 Lounge.
Oh,
Oh, that's where I
Yeah,
was at.
Studio
I
23.
think, yeah, okay.
Yeah, shout out to them.
I haven't done any shows since. everything
How's
started.
you and the staff going? Shout out to Latrice on the pictures too. You know what I mean? Shout out to Lisa. You know what I mean? Baltimore Paparazzi affiliation. Shout out to everybody.
I ain't
Blue
even
Rice.
gonna name them because it's so many people.
Shout out to the whole squad. Shout out to the
Yeah.
shorty that was coming out helping us with the skating event. I forgot her name. Shout out to her. Mom, Lord,
Oh, yeah,
Jennifer.
she was
Jennifer. She's still
yeah.
Yeah, you know, shout out. So
Everybody's still
everybody?
around. Expression for a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Dad, like my son came in the room and I'll be sitting there looking at the wall, watching TV. He used to see me moving and shaking. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, bro, I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I'm coming or going.
Yeah, so it hurt. Not only was it something that was my life, but it was also like a part-time job. So like I lost all that. We had tours going on, and where people had already invested money in a tour like previously. I already paid stuff, paid for the artwork, did all that. So like when all that stopped, it kind of put me in a position where like the people that was on the tour could have probably like been upset, like, all right, boom, 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 I need this, I need this, I need that. But because of the report I got, everybody understood, when things get back to normal, I'm gonna fix. Not that it was my fault, but I'm gonna hold everybody down.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
complete the objective.
Yeah.
Did you try to do any like Zoom stuff or anything like that?
I thought about it.
I remember we discussed that.
Yeah, I couldn't really. It just didn't seem the same to me, so I decided not to
I
do
don't
it.
want to shortchange the people.
So what I did was I was starting to get more into the community. That's how I started to get my flow back. I was like, all right, boom. I started going to the protests, and then I started doing more stuff with my youth group. And then I got back in the studio and started finishing up my project. So I was like, boom, what's hot right now? Mask. All right, I'm gonna put the Wisdom Court mask out. Luckily, that's gonna be going on for a while, so that's gonna be a ongoing business. So that's gonna go great for us.
Silver lining. Yeah.
So I started I was like, I'm gonna start putting out videos, doing more content. I did a whole bunch of photo shoots. I just started building up like mad content that I didn't have time to do when I was working and doing shows and running around. I was like, all right, boom, I'm gonna take advantage of the time. So right now I got so much content to where like by the time the year's over, I probably would have 5 projects out, like all kinds of different shirts, masks. I started writing a book. You know, I started doing.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I started doing just everything I could possibly do with the time that I had. So now, like, no matter if stuff comes back soon or doesn't, I'm busy. I'm constantly busy. I found a way to bring money in. I found a way to use my creativity. Now we're gonna find ways to kind of keep the crew together. So on Sundays we do something called church, where whoever's available will check in on the video chat. You know what I'm saying? And we'll all check in, even if it's 5 minutes. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Boom, 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 and jump off. So that's something that we're trying to do to kind of keep like the artists together.
And that's dope.
And I'm still, everything's still new. I'm still working out like the promotional side. I'm still working out like the media stuff. I'm still working out things for my DJs and everybody to do. But I think we reacted well to it.
What got you into writing a book?
Boredom. Boredom and the fact that just like him, a lot of people have questions on how I was able to get things the way they are now. Because like the Wisdom Court thing is not like, it's not a normal organization. It's not a normal crew. For us to be in the city and not be the core members not be originally from the city, but us to be able to move around the way that we move is kind of like mysterious. And what people are like, yo, how'd y'all get here?
Right.
For us to be in the county and have connections to all of the community leaders and the charities and things like that, people question like, how are we able to get there? You know what I'm saying? We kind of put ourselves in a position where it's like people just didn't know how I was able to get myself in a certain position.
Acquiring minds one another.
Yeah. So I wanted to tell people the whole story from the mind state to the struggles of growing up. Because like, even though we were from the county, like I grew up in a ghetto environment. I grew up with no bathroom, no shower, no central heat, no air conditioning.
So you lived in one of them old houses.
Yeah,
I used to live
in Ricestown. So that's how I grew up. And I didn't take a real shower or even know how to do it. So I was like halfway through elementary school. I would go to friends' houses and stuff like that. And staying there in the tub, not thinking I'm doing something I wasn't really doing. You know what I'm
There's the
saying?
water running away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you know, I went
Came a long
the
way.
same struggles that people with certain areas went through. I went through. I went through the violence in my household, the alcoholism, the not having money. I went through all that kind of stuff. So I think that makes me more relatable to some people. I didn't grow up with the big
They get it
houses.
misconstrued, like they feel like because you're in a county or you live
I
by
didn't
there.
go through that.
Perception.
But it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, in the city, I had the hard. It's like,
I didn't. No, there's people in the city who grew up better than me.
right.
Like I ain't grow.
Exactly.
We didn't grow with no
That's
money.
facts.
Nobody. I ain't getting nobody bought me no car. Nobody like my first cell phone I got from selling weed. My first car I got was like $400. I got the same way $400 car.
Hey,
Until watching my mother's struggles, my father's struggles, and like the person I am now, and all the stuff I talk about now, you get to see elements of where it kind of came from. I started reading as around 19 because I was like, I felt inferior to a lot of people because I was small. I was always a small dude. I was like, the only way I'm gonna be able to match these bigger dudes, if I can't match them about my size, I'm gonna beat them with my brother war. Like every mind empowering book you can think of, the Prince, the Machiavelli joint. You know what I'm saying? Every book I can think of, they kind of give me a little bit more leverage to match up with my size. And I've always been able to kind of be one step ahead of competition in the streets and the music thing because of all the knowledge that I picked up.
Wisdom.
Yes, all the wisdom that we picked up.
In the Maryland area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Out of town, what's your favorite out of town show that you've done so far?
Dang. Probably West Virginia because we got a pretty big fan base and crew out West Virginia, Hagerstown, Frederick area, whatever. So those shows be like sometimes those shows be like packed.
I love West Virginia.
Bridgeport, Connecticut, New York. I've been all over the place through the music thing because I started setting my own tours. So like I've been like all over the place doing it. I can't even really say I got like a favorite out of town spot because anytime you can go 5-6 hours away from where you're from and people know you, you pull up, the cars pull up to greet you. Like that's amazing. So it's all my favorite.
And they buy the merch. You still can go through them small towns today and still see somebody with sheets with your shirt on. It's all.
You drive through Westminster and go to any store any time of the day. You're gonna see a Wisdom shirt, mask, a sticker, somebody. You're gonna see it.
That's subliminal marketing, you know what I
I
mean?
watched the Master P document and he said that he gave out his T-shirts to homeless people. Because he said he's like they're my walking billboard right there.
That's smart too.
Yeah, Master P was a genius.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from Master P. Like I didn't really like his music, you know what I'm saying? But his grind, that's something different.
That's the era we grew up in. Like we had examples. We had role model Master P, Jay-Z, Russell Simmons, Diddy, Chris Lighties. Now these kids, like who was the executive? They don't even give Lil Wayne his flowers as it. Lil Wayne supposed to be the biggest music executive in the world. He put Drake and Nicki Minaj.
But it's all about what Lil Wayne wants, though. If he's not pushing this up,
that's not. I'm just saying, just the love in general. Even if you don't want it, remember back in the day, it was articles, executive, Puff Daddy, this. Like it was more marketed.
Even in Baltimore, like we used to have one of the dopest things in Baltimore City was the award shows. There was the award shows gave flowers and showed people like there's really an industry going on here, and I thought those were great things. They stopped. They all stopped. There was like 3 different ones, and they all stopped. The DMV Awards,
Baltimore Crown Awards.
Yeah, the DMV Awards was a bigger version of that, and it was a big fight. There was a big fight there. I won the DMV Promoter of the Year award in 2011. That was probably a highlight of my career. There was in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and I won that. In front of like hundreds of people cheering, going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that was awesome. But there was right after that, it was a big fight, and like I think somebody had lost the eye. People would get stabbed up. It was like insane. So they canceled the awards.
I was see you think about bringing some of that stuff, like bringing it back or
the Wisdom Awards to be ill, and you got the credibility to do it.
I have the credibility and the connections to do the award show. I can pull together all of the major people that are running the scene to do it. But because I still look at myself as an active artist and I'm still like in a competitive mode, I wouldn't do it. because I'm still out there.
You know what?
You know
Because
what I'm
you know they got the Grammys, but you know one of the people from Rock Nation helped curate the Grammys and stuff like that, pick the music. You know? All right, so
See what I'm saying?
yeah,
Now, once I start,
talk about
if I
that.
start being an artist and I'm not promoting myself, whatever, then I would probably get more involved in something like that on the executive time. And that time's coming soon. Maybe like
So
another
who's
2
your
years.
favorite executive at Wisdom Core outside? Not that's sorry, terrible question. Who was one of the top executives there? Because I know Sam was key back in the day. Who's like the key person in 2020 that we need to highlight for Wisdom Core and not get on Billy Live next?
And now you know my nerves. I will say, see, these questions I don't answer directly. So I would say
Give me 3 or 4 names. You can shout. Who's the top brass now? It might be big.
I won't even do that. I'll say that you can hit us up through our media channels.
Okay.
Where a lot of different people are running those and get those messages and stuff like that. Hit the IGs, hit the Facebooks. Everybody knows who my DJs are. I would say probably Rube and Bank, because they're the ones that are hands on with the music a lot. So there's some people you can kind of get through. But really, like,
you heard that? Hey, shh. My fault. That's just y'all talking about y'all. Listen up. You right.
But any member of Wisdom Core that you see around me in pictures and anything has the power to help you if you build a relationship.
Same protocol, it don't matter. That's
Same
quality
protocol.
control. I respect that. So no matter if you hit the Instagram, you hit the email, you see Shorty at the gas station, you hit the Rube Bryce, or even if you hit me, it's going to still go through the same channels and protocols. There's no skipping the process. Oh, yo, I know Rube, or I bought 7 beats from Rube, or I got Anchor to do my bar mitzvah.
And don't just send the music over like let's read. Don't just send it over. Don't just record, like don't tag.
Well, in that case,
so you hit up any member and you come to them with an idea, or you want to do XYZ, they'll check it out and they'll hit Billy, I know such and such, check them out. If they don't think it's worth even coming to me, they probably won't even tell me. So that's why I said, like, your rapport with all of us should be like good, because we're good people. All of us are good at good people. Like, I don't have anybody that represents me or I represent that are credible style people. Are all good people. So you can talk to any of them, build a good rapport with them, and they can help you. One major thing that we're doing right now is, like, every artist and every crew that I have in my crew, they have their own crew. They have their own squad.
So they capos. Everybody in your crew is a capo, captain, so, and they got their own.
Boom. Holiday shows, right? I mean? They got a whole group of people they roll with. You know what I'm saying? Black Staff, they have a whole group of people.
Shout out to Black Staff 24/7. You understand me?
BBI, like, it just keeps going and going.
Bruno, Hayes.
So
when is Frankie Grimes coming back to Black Staff 24/7?
That's a question for Bruno and Hayes. You know what I'm saying?
They're very, very well trained. I said, throw it in left field.
But
boom.
Frankie,
he
was with us. He was with us on the come up. You know
Frankie Grimes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Frankie Grimes, man.
Nothing but respect.
Podcast too. Shout out to the whole 20. They still cool. It's happening naturally. You see them corresponding to each other's social media and stuff now. But the staff ain't the staff. The all of us like that.
But they like my brothers. They're like they're some of the longest. The longest. They come to my house.
That one joint they just dropped.
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah, it was dope.
When they was in the video, I know Nisi Boo was in the video. Shout out to Nisi Boo, my former co-host on Rap Fan Wednesday.
But those are kind of dudes that be like at the house. They'll be around like my
family.
Yeah, so it's like different, like
Wisdom Core VIP.
Yeah.
Upper echelon, you know what I mean? Okay. Like the levels, they're at a higher degree of the secret society. Oh yeah, it's trust.
It definitely is a secret society.
Rube Bryce, he produced every beat on this?
No, he mixed and engineered it.
Mixed and engineered. But who's some producers you work with?
On this project, I just grabbed different producers online. So I don't really know them like that, but the project we're working on now, Rube, Davo Beats, Street Scott, and a bunch of other, my cousin Derek, a bunch of other producers are producing on new albums. So that's like all original joints.
Read the Bible. Read who executive producer is.
My executive producer is my son.
Oh.
And reason being because he actually helps me with all of my songs.
When he's putting in work, it ain't just, oh, you my son, I'll make you executive producer. No. He's putting in work on the joint. You know what I'm saying?
So where did your inspiration from the music come from?
My inspiration? Life. Life.
Lyve. What's your favorite time to write?
When I'm at work. That's
When
the
you
only
at
time.
work, your favorite
That's the only time
time?
that I
Is
write.
that morning, night?
It's in the morning.
In the
I get up at
morning.
like 3:45, and while I'm driving, I'll have my headphones playing, and I'll either like I try to jot. I don't really write. I'll jot things down, or I ask somebody to write something for me while I talk it out, or whatever. But that's like how I create all my music. I don't really sit home like the times where you would think somebody would sit there and have time to write. I don't write. I write while I'm on the move.
Okay.
Like right now, I can write. I'm probably writing something right now.
And I do the same
See
thing.
what I'm
Like I'm
saying?
listening to a beat, yo, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So
So like
building.
Jay-Z told me that he said when he was on the block, so he never had time to sit down and write. He just repeat things in his head. So I started doing that while I was at work, and I just learned how to do it. And if it's a serious song, I might break it down and write it down, or I post it on Facebook. I'll post my lyrics on Facebook. That's how I write. I'll be sitting there literally writing while I'm on Facebook.
Still.
Yeah.
In real time.
In
Fans can
real
see that,
time,
see
yeah.
the edit. So when you hear the song, oh, you must have.
Yeah, if they don't remember, they'd be like, yo.
It's not as hard as people think, yo. That's because I do it all the time. You know what I mean? Like you just listen to the beat, just add 4, add another 4, add a 2. Oh, you don't write your rhymes. It became a thing like when it was slick back then when Biggie and Jay was doing it when they first brought it to the masses. Oh, damn, right. But now, I don't feel like a lot of artists don't rap. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the studio capabilities, a lot you can literally punch in every bar if you want to. You know
a lot of artists should write.
A lot of artists should write too. That's a
they
fact.
Sound terrible.
That is a fact, though. Shout out to Latrice on the artwork too, yo.
Yeah, we did a photo shoot down at off of St. Paul, right across from the hospital.
What'd you say?
Now I'm saying a lot of people, because sometimes people don't remember their lyrics. Like the thing, like when you write this, you never write, but then you'll come right back and then you remember everything that you said.
Yeah.
So it's just like you never wrote nothing there.
A lot of cats come in the studio don't even have their rhymes yet. You know what I mean? They don't know where their breath gonna be, where they gonna put their ad lib at, where they gonna at.
That's funny you say that. So when my son, right, he was at one point he was rapping real fast. So we started doing shows and he's trying to rap the same way on stage. You can't do it. So I told him, I said, as you're writing now, write like you're about to perform. So put breaths in it as you're writing, because when you're on stage, you're not gonna be able to do all that. It's not gonna happen. Especially if you're jumping around and doing all that's not gonna happen.
You're excited,
so
it's not gonna happen.
That's why my style is the way it is. Cause like it might be like a little slower style, a little whatever.
Stadium music.
But I write with the mindset of performing it.
Kanye, you know, stadium music. That's what Kanye writes like, yeah, I'm gonna rock this.
I write all of my music with the mindset of performing. That's why it has like a certain flow to it. Because on stage, the way that I write and the way that my music is, it works great with my bands. I have a live band. Because I can break it up. I can
shout out to the live band. Does the band have its own name?
Yeah, Ill Luck.
Ill Luck, okay. That's ill.
Shout out.
Man, that's luck.
Shout out to the band. Man on bass, Superman, Rue Rice, DJ Anchor the Bank, Nick Richards on guitar. You know what I'm saying? Jay Money.
What do you mean Anchor the Bank at?
Anchor the Bank I met through that was a Ricetown connection. Like I said, our whole crew was either Carroll County, Baltimore County. So everybody I came up with was either Ricetown, Westminster, or Sykesville. And Anchor Bank was cool with somebody on the Ricetown side. And I'm not sure exactly when I met him, but when I first got into the Baltimore scene, my first show with Sonar, he was also on that show.
Shout out to DJ Anchor the Bank. What do you mean Ambush at?
Ambush is my cousin. So
Okay.
when I moved, they brought him up and we started riding bikes together. We had a group, we used to call it the Four Bad Brothers. Me, him, we did all that, rapping the Kit Kat bar song out back at the house, listening to Lords of Underground, listening to, you know what I'm saying? Rapping and recording tapes. He was with me when I started everything. Day one.
Day one, right there.
And my cousins from Ricetown, they was also with me. Day one. That's the UREC crew. You might hear me talk about that or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's LOS and it's UREC. UREC was all my cousins from Ricetown. And Ambush was also part of that. And LOS was all the cats from Westminster and Sykesville. So Wisdom Court got put together by merging all of them. And then as I got into the Baltimore scene, that's the Wisdom Court you guys know now. It's the ones that's more, our crew is more, I say it's probably like 60% Baltimore City, but that's like the past like 8 years.
Second generation Wisdom Court.
Yeah. So that's the Wisdom Court that y'all know now. The Wisdom Court that I came up with, you'll hear more about in the book and through my lyrics, but you'll see them as much now.
Where you meet Born Da Vinci at?
Sykesville. He's good.
Born Divine running out there and running around.
he used to be one of the wild dudes in the camouflage in school and stuff. And I was like, man, I want to be like him.
Really?
Yeah,
Yo,
wow.
Born Divine role model. He come through the block, saved our life, yo.
Yeah.
Then he was selling a bean pies at one time when Muslim got down with
I
the
went
bull.
I went through the whole thing, the whole 5. Yeah, I studied the 5%. I studied the laws, Nation of God, and Nurse. I had to.
Peace to the gods.
I studied all that. I was around them we went to like the Million Man March together. My man Justice, they put like this.
We gotta go out Vegas and see Born Da Vinci. Yo.
Yeah. Put it like this. They showed me like the spiritual side of stuff, but they also showed me the dirty street side of stuff. We were taking trips to VA, with crack in the packs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Up and down.
Beginning the game, just like Cat Madonna album.
So
he was Cat Madonna right hand man.
They taught me a lot of things. I learned what not to do from being around, not just Boom, but just that the older dudes that had me. I learned what not to do from being around them. I learned what to do from being around them. I took the best parts out of everything, because even the negative stuff, I still use the negative stuff that I learned. I still use that to the day too. You gotta have a little bit of an edge. You gotta have a little bit of an edge in order to survive. You can't just go around being like, I love everybody, positive, because everybody ain't positive. So you can be the most positive. You can be the most positive, loyal person in the world, but you're dealing with a bunch of cruddy,
savages.
So you gotta have an element of that too, or you're gonna get destroyed and ate up.
It's a fact.
I haven't been destroyed and haven't been ate up.
That's the wisdom right there. That's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge is knowing where the ledge at. Wisdom is having a wise enough dome to implement the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Hugger said, "What's up, Black Hugger Loud Boys?"
That's another one. Like in Baltimore, he
OG.
He's somebody
right?
that I always looked up to. You know what I'm saying? But he put me under his wing.
Me too, yo.
You know, he holds me down. Like
we got some of the same mentors.
If I call him right now, he's in town. He's gonna pull up. If I'm out of town and he's out of town, he's gonna pull
stand
up.
Up guy, man. Yeah, Loud Boys Entertainment. Loud Boys.
He was at
First
my house.
Family.
He was at my house for New Year's.
Life of Zay. I seen Life of Zay and Cruddy did a show. Did some shows together and stuff. That's good. The next generation is linking up. You know what I mean?
And when things get back to normal, we'll be doing the same thing. Like
make sure y'all check out Cruddy Live and Life of Zay. Next generation of what's going on out here. What you were saying, Bill?
No, I was saying like Hug. You know, he's
Loud Boys.
I just popped it up, but yeah, he always looked out for me. Like if I had a problem with somebody or whatever, and I would hit him up like, yo, this dude, not like whatever problem. He'll give me a different perspective. Like, you sure that's how you feel? You sure he took it that way? All right.
Sounds just like
yeah.
Shout out to Block Hugger, yo. Who else in here? My man Brian Hoyt, yo.
What up, Brian?
One of Brian Hoyt's one of the biggest supporters in the game, yo.
Ogu's another one that
he said he tagged Frankie Grimes in because he said, you know what I'm saying, he tagged him.
Oh yeah, what up, Frank?
He said Wisdom Court. And Bush said good interview. Thanks, cuz. Mike Fernandez. I want to salute again. Facebook chat.
Ogu's another one that big brothers be.
Who?
Ogun.
Ogun. Oh yeah. Ogun. What's the Baltimore ceasefire?
Baltimore ceasefire and Beats Not Bullets.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually do work together with Beats Not Bullets. I brought him to Westminster for my youth group, and we made beats and stuff like live and recorded right inside the youth group. I did the Baltimore ceasefire march with them. I did the Baltimore ceasefire event with them. And he's somebody like, when I'm upset about something in the scene, like somebody pissed me off or somebody said some stupid stuff, whatever, and I don't want to react a certain kind of way, I'll call him, and he'll talk me down. And
Ogun,
it's him.
Everybody need that.
Yeah, him.
Everybody need that one.
Hugger, and like maybe like one or two people will be able to kind of like talk me sense into me if I feel a certain kind of way, or if I'm not looking at something the right way, because they'll give me like the rawest.
Big homies.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really reach out to a lot of Rube and Anchor the Bank. Pretty much my whole band. All them dudes big brother me. All of them. So like as much as you see people following me, like I'm this, I'm that, everybody kind of gets behind me, whatever. If it wasn't for all these guys to kind of hold me down and mentor me, I wouldn't be who I am. So,
pieces of a man. Like AZ said, pieces of all this, pieces of a man.
That's respect.
Shout out to Ogun. architect, everything, big time.
Yeah, Mike Mack.
Mike McIntosh.
I'm in communication with him all the time. Like he's somebody like I look at them as like back in the day that was like the mob of the Baltimore scene. Like you had to be connected to ARS to really do anything back in the day. You know
Who's your favorite Baltimore artist, excluding anybody outside the camp or direct affiliation?
I don't answer those kind of questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your favorite artist period?
Tupac.
Tupac. Oh,